sort of AI transcript type thing as well.
Okay.
So I can send that round. So I meant to get back a bit earlier than I have, because but the things we need to talk about, I think, are key within the immediate time. Keith's sort of feedback report, Collier's proposal, and the lawyers' group. What was the terminology? But
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
working together as what separately but together sort of thing.
Right.
Okay. Okay, and then I think John and Alex, you were having thoughts, and Robert were having thoughts about a possible other.
Yep. Another agent. Yeah.
Another agent.
Yeah. I mean, on that front, I've tried to reach my contacts on Tagu Evans and Cushman and Wakefield. I haven't had any response. I guess
everyone's on holiday,
right? On holidays, yeah.
Yeah. Could I, in terms of, trying to pick on just the best other agent to give us a quote and an idea up against Collier's, I have been talking to my friend Digby Flower, who is well connected in the market, to find out who he thinks it would be best to go to. He said to me that there's been quite a lot of change in the development agent world. They've swapped around quite a lot.
Okay.
And he just wanted to do a bit of research on that, and I've got a meeting with him on Wednesday, and I was thinking, Robert, maybe you and I could touch base after that on Thursday with Alex Brown, so that we're in a position to come back to the group with a proposal. Was what I was hoping to do.
Yep.
That's great. So the 2 points from previous discussion was there seemed to be a potential usefulness about working with Savills on the surface anyway, in that if they're marketing next door, they're going to get a better price for number one, if they bung that in together with R8, possibly, and they would also have some sort of control, potentially a bit more leverage on Thames Water about how they play number one as well. So it'd be interesting to see what the Savills thoughts are from your pal.
Yeah, they're definitely in the mix.
Yeah.
And you would have seen that Alex Brown has a few views on, whether he thinks that's helpful to us or not using. So the two Alexes have got slightly different views on this, but that's fine. So it's great that everyone's, taking a really good interest in it, and But at some stage we'll pick the one we want.
In terms of your feedback on the Colliers, their proposal, what were your thoughts on that, John?
I haven't gone a long way down that path. The only thing is, I don't think they totally understand the complexities of what they're dealing with. But I haven't given it a massively detailed look, to be honest, Harry. If I could jump ahead a little bit just on something that's a little bit new, is that I met with Gordon Adams this morning, and I've always got on very well with Gordon, and he obviously was our lead person at Battersea Power Station Company, and he was there. I think he might have been there for 16 years, and he was heading up planning. He knows everything about everything that goes on there, and it had enough. It been, I think, it's a very stressful position for him, and I think he did an amazing job in help turning around the Battersea Power Station development, because it was in a very difficult place at various moments. But he was thinking about joining another business, but he's now set up a consultancy business on his own, and we chatted a little bit about that, and then we got on to Brooks Court, which I suspect was the reason why both of us wanted to meet. One, he might be looking for some work, and two, we might want to use him, but we had to explore that. One of the questions was, can he work for us, or would he be conflicted out because of the relationship he had with Battersea Power Station? And he contractually he can do some consultancy work for us, and then we started chatting a little bit about what he knows, and he has told me that Battersea Power Station Company have pressed the go button on the redevelopment of their two sites, independent of Brooks Court. Added to that, they're both going to be applications for social housing. Wandsworth Borough are really keen to, Battersea Power Station don't have to put any more social housing in, because they put enough in elsewhere to comply with their planning requirements. But they are going to put in a bit more, I suspect, to get favourable planning on other bits of the site. You remember when Simon Murphy was chief executive, and Gordon was working alongside him and was one of his right hand people. Gordon told us that they'd had enough. They weren't going to do any more development, and they were going to try and sell everything, or finish what they're doing and sell everything off. That changed a little bit for their two sites next to Brooks Court, because they had good planning permission up there, and if they sold it, that planning permission would go, and so they were looking at other options. Then Simon Murphy left, new chief executive came in, and there was an indication that the new chief exec might have a slightly different view on what to do. But from where I'm sitting, I haven't really heard anything particularly reliable since then, until this meeting with Gordon, and that is what's happening.
Do you think that's in the public domain? If you know what I mean.
Will be soon.
Right. Okay.
Have to be a public consultation on it, and before Gordon said to me, before it goes through a public consultation, they will approach the adjacent property owners ahead of that public consultation. That's what they would normally do.
Is that imminent, do you think?
I think it probably is, but no one really knows. Gordon doesn't know. We've got this decision to make on, on who is going to be best placed to sell Brooks Court for us. Is it Collier's? Is it Savills? Is it somebody else? We've got, on the planning side of things, we have got Phil out there, and Phil, is well known. He's ex-senior partner of, I can't remember who now, but a big firm, and he might well be the person to work with our agents selling the site. But I think it would be really handy to have Gordon on board ASAP, because he can tell us exactly what's going on all around that area, and I think it'd be very, very helpful to us. And he can come in and have a chat to this group if you would like, just to introduce himself, and you can see him again. And we don't want to build up an enormous army of consultants and incur fees left, right, and centre, but we want to have the best team for this information about the fact they are pushing ahead with these. They've got architects appointed, they're pushing ahead with it, and there will be a consultation on the planning for social housing. I think basically we've been mucked around a bit by Battersea Power Station over the last few months, and it's really, really nice to know somebody that really knows what's going on. It may not be news that we particularly want, because I think something other than social housing might have been better on that site, but it is progress. It's and there's nothing we can do about it. So we might as well.
Yeah. I think that's quite interesting how that plays in on this 25-story potential for that plot as well. With that, maybe I don't know.
Yeah. If one person knows more about building buildings around planning around that site, it's Gordon Adams. I've always felt that. One of the reasons why I got to know him quite well, to be honest. Actually, I like him. He's a good guy.
He seems like a fellow, yeah.
He's clever, and he's on it. And he talks about some things, to be honest, that I know nothing about at all, and probably some of you around this table do. But he can explain that to all of us as well, just so that we know he knows the chief exec of Wandsworth. He knows that. Well, they're looking at Wandsworth. Are looking apparently at acquiring the scheme once it's done and letting it out, which seems pretty bizarre, for them to be thinking about that. But it's obviously quite a long way down the line. Anyway, it's interesting.
He would probably have thoughts on an agent as well. Actually, I would have thought as to who talks the best language in that neck of the woods as well.
Yeah, and to be honest, Harry, he might also, he knows all the big plans, and he might say, look, guys, you need a big hitter on this, you need a DP9, something like that. Or he might say, no, that's something for Phil, or I'd like to do it, or whatever. And then, we can make a decision. But, and he's not, as I said at the start, I think he did want to meet with me to see if there was an opportunity for him at Brooks Court. But, I had certainly been thinking the same thing about meeting up with him. So I think in some capacity, he could be very helpful to us.
Carol Madgen, how do you feel about Adam and this very useful conversation you've had, John?
Well, I mean, I think it would be useful to have his perspective, especially given his background, his experience with Battersea. I agree. I think we've been, quite deliberately kept in the dark by Battersea. And John, I'm assuming that these two developments are the adjacent plots adjacent on the island site to Brooks Court. Is that right?
Yeah.
The petrol station and the one that runs along towards Kirtling Street, the plot that runs along there.
North side.
So those two on their own, they're not big, are they? They're not plots on their own.
The
north one is.
Kirtling Kringle one that's quite sizable. The Esso service station isn't, it's a smaller site than ours. Yeah, I'm sitting here still thinking there's got to be quite a lot of logic of putting the three sites together.
Yes.
And it'll be helpful to reflect. I remember Ballymore saying that they're quite happy just to develop out their own site on their own. If they have to, well, fine, and they can do that. We've obviously got the right of way over that site. Maybe that will be a helpful negotiation tool to get involved in number one. But as Alex A said in his email just before this meeting, if we could assemble the group of 10, that would be so much better. And I suppose if Battersea are developing out these two other sites, you could see the logic of, we know they can acquire number 8, and if they can get number 1, then we could be up and running, with them wanting to take the Brooks Court site to develop it all in one go. But we've got to again, as Alex A said in his email, we've got to get closer to Battersea and Ballymore. Gordon Adams will give us an opportunity to get closer to Battersea Power Station Company. He knows lots of the people there, and as I've said before, Digby Flower knows Ballymore really, really well. The first meeting I had with Digby and Ballymore many years ago was with John Mulryan, and he is the boss of Ballymore. And you don't get an audience with him, just like that. And the Colliers guys haven't been any. I think they might have seen some of the Mulryans, but they haven't seen the boss. And it'd be helpful for us to have, that an ability to do that. I think, working alongside whichever agent we decide to appoint.
Robert, what will your gang say about this? Do you think?
Yeah, well, here's what I think. I think Colliers was good to bring an offer like Scissorstone. And
whilst we get connected to him, I'm just concerned that we, by involving more and more people, the cost keeps going up, and we are pensioners and we rely on that.
Okay.
Imagine
Robert was just talking. Actually, you probably didn't hear him talking. Then I'm
sorry. Maybe it's my connection, which is not good. Maybe.
No, but, I can hear you anyway. Can you hear them, Carol?
No, we can't. No.
Can you hear me?
I can. But
I can.
Okay.
But Carol can't. I don't think.
No.
Well, Carol, you'll see the recording anyway.
Okay.
Later.
Okay.
So Robert, if you say
what I
what you
was
say, yeah.
Yeah, what I was saying is, Colliers was good in bringing Silverstone, and actually they got us, well, in a way, running with something or having a figure. I'm not impressed by their presentation or offer. I think they won't engage anything meaningful with Battersea Power Station or Ballymore. Just like, I mean, they won't be talking to the bosses, just like Digby Flowers and Gordon Adams, as John said. I think it's even if we get another offer from another broker, the offers are going to be similar in terms of fees or approach, because I mean, if I go to Montagu Evans or Cushman and Wakefield, I mean, they don't know all the intricacies and complexity of what we have. So I think it's very good that John could make contact with Gordon Adams and Digby Flowers. I think it's very important because no matter what, if we sell, it will be according to what Ballymore and Battersea Power Station will be doing or will be willing to do with us. I think we need to. I mean, that's for me the best way is to have a group of 10.
Yep.
I agree. Have we lost the sound there? Something. So Carol, Robert was sort of agreeing that this is a good move. If I mean, I'm saying the next step would be to ask Gordon what sort of what his fees might be. I suppose. Yeah.
He's writing to me on that today.
Okay. I mean,
Hello, can you hear me?
yes, we
We can
can.
hear you. We can hear you, Robert, but now we can't hear Harry.
Oh.
I don't know.
Okay. I'm not sure if you heard what I said, but well, just in summary, I think it'd be good to have Gordon Adams kind of tell us what he thinks about the sale.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Can you hear me now, Carol? No.
No.
No, you can't hear me.
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Oh, great! You can. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I think that's probably the biggest news we're going to get. I mean, Colliers, I think it was a bit sad that they quoted a range of fees which was 5 million below an offer we'd already been made.
Yes.
That seemed a little bit shabby. And also. I don't know what they were basing it on, but if Phil has sort of uncovered, the potential for 25 stories, presumably that makes potential
Different.
a far greater value,
Yes.
potentially. So that's it. So Keith, what did Keith want to do as a next step? He wanted us to talk to an architect and things. But there's probably not much point doing that at this stage, is there? Because it sounds like it might suddenly roll into something, mightn't it? I've got a funny feeling that.
No. It's premature, isn't it?
Feels that way to me slightly. I mean, in terms of the lawyer, quoting, what was it, 15 grand or something like that, wasn't it, 15, 20 grand for doing that. I don't know what people's thoughts are. I asked ChatGPT how much it should cost, and it came up with 6 to 12,000. Funnily enough, but you know, I didn't give it very much information, so but anyway, I didn't think it was sort of ridiculously out of sorts with it. So, but I suppose we need to do that anyway. I think we all need to assume a budget of 10 grand or whatever it might be to sell this to sell our properties one way and another. I would suppose.
Yeah, Harry,
John's gone now.
You can't hear me now, Carol. Let's just wait 2 seconds whether it clicks in.
No,
Okay.
we can't hear John.
Okay, well, let me. I'm just going to sort of keep talking and see if it.
We'll send the recording round for everyone to see anyway.
Yes.
So
Okay.
you can hear that.
Okay.
Well, okay, or Harry, you can repeat what I'm going to say. It's very. I don't think we want Christopher acting for us on the sale. We need a big hitting lawyer to act for us on the sale, and that is not Christopher, as far as I'm concerned.
But John was saying that he doesn't think Christopher's our man to act for us on the sale. He's not at weight for that, as far as.
Yeah.
Do you know who is John?
No, but I'm going to find out, and I'm also going to discuss that with Digby, Alex, and Robert in conjunction with finding the agent and see who the right. I think they'll come hand in hand. Okay. So,
yeah. What I think is, and what I've always thought, Christopher is very good, for planning. He's a planning specialist. But in terms of selling the property, and given the complexity of what could be a transaction here, in terms of negotiations and negotiating all the legal aspects of it, I agree he may not be the best person. There are other solicitors I've worked with at, for example, Withers or Trowers, who are, I think, more qualified.
And would this said lawyer, would they be the ones to put together the agreement between the group as well?
Well, not necessarily. I think we can have a. We can set up a company. We can have a MOU, and this is not necessarily the type of lawyers I'm. Could be any lawyer doing it, but in terms of once we have an offer, and we're going to need, as John said, a very competent lawyer, somebody with who can negotiate legally certain points. I'm thinking about. Have you worked, John, with Withers?
Interestingly, Robert, I haven't, but I have worked with an awful lot of law firms. But yeah, I'm very open to.
Okay. There are some big names in the in these firms and very experienced property lawyers. And I'm thinking about Andrew Chesser, for example, at Withers.
Is Andrew at Weavers now?
And no, Andrew Chesser.
Yeah.
He used to work for a long time ago for DSC Bishcroft.
Yeah, I know him quite well, as it happens. Yeah.
He's now he's been for the past month a consultant for Withers. He's retired but still working.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, look, we'll get this bit of research done with the lawyers and the agents during the course of the remainder of this week, and get another meeting set, report back. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much. I think that's very good progress, and I'll get the message out to this recording out to everyone. And do we need to go back to anyone particular? I mean, I just kept people in a holding pattern with emails. I think that's probably the thing to carry on doing, really, isn't it? With Bill,
I think but I suppose with Phil, Harry, the main thing that we were looking at with him was a temporary use for the site.
Yes.
And I think it'd be really good to push forwards with that and see whether what we should go for. And I think it'd be good for us to be seen to be doing that. And
from a compensation point of view, sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, if we do start putting, we've got our compensation advisor team, and then we've got our sale advisor team, and they're probably not going to be the same people. Although don't know about Phil yet, because he could do both, and he's obviously interested in doing both because he covered it off in his proposal. But I think if we we could get an alternative use for the site for the moment, that would be a good thing, and we should get the ball rolling with that.
What would be the next stage of that? That we would have to apply for permission. So that would be, would we get him to set about that on our behalf? I suppose we would, wouldn't we?
Yeah, I think so. And ask him what it would cost to do that.
Yeah. And yeah, okay. And then after that, it would be if suddenly we had some sort of transport hub wanting to use it for whatever time, presumably they would then we would need to market the site through a certain way, and then we'd have to give them access to it somehow, wouldn't we? So there's going to be I think what I'm thinking is there's quite a lot of infrastructural costs potentially in doing it, or really do we just want to be seen to have tried in order to get the compensation?
Yes.
Well, I don't. Yeah, we don't want to clock up a whole load of costs.
No.
Getting closer to a position of selling, but but I think it would be good to go back to Bill and ask him, what the next steps would be to if he's thinking HGV parking.
Yeah.
Then what would what does he need to do to get the planning permission, and then what would we then do after that?
Okay. I'll follow that along. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
We will have access because we've got access through Ballymore's site, and but it would be quite interesting. Sorting out the access arrangements and security and all sorts of things. But yeah, I think it'd be good to get the ball rolling.
So with Colliers, they were saying, "Oh, that's why we wanted to keep Batty Power Station informed." They kept saying, "Keep us in touch. We're really interested in what you're doing." But knowing all along that they're going to bung up the whole lot of the affordable housing left and right of it, sort of thing. So you can see the game being played, can't you?
Yeah, which is well, it is really handy to got info from Gordon today. It does clear the picture a bit.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds great. Do you think we've covered what we need to cover now? I think we probably have, haven't we?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, perhaps if we can meet again next Monday or something like that, possibly, or something after.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that works fine for me.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Is it a bank? It's a bank holiday, isn't
It's
it?
a bank holiday, isn't it?
Not that that makes much difference to me, but it might to others. You might choose Tuesday. But
Yeah, it doesn't make a difference for me neither. I'm working all the time.
Yeah, but it doesn't make any difference to me. See how it goes down.
The rest. Yeah, we can make it.
We are permanently on bank holiday.
Great.
Good. That's good. That's good to hear. I'm pretty flexible.
Okay. Shall we pencil in 3 o'clock by next Monday, unless we have to make a change on that?
Okay, Harry.
Yep. Perfect. Okay.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'll send this
Thank
around.
you.
Okay. Nice.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Cheers, guys. Bye.